Hi, welcome to 30 Days of Transformation. Nice to have you here. Um, the other day I was thinking about this 30-day challenge that I've been doing and thinking, gosh, I wonder if enough people are watching it. I wonder if it's worth doing it. And then I was at a workshop and a bunch of people came up to me and said, oh, I really like your videos. Thank you so much for doing them. I've been really enjoying them, blah, blah, blah. So the thing is, if you don't let me know that you're actually watching them, then for me, it's just like, I don't know if anybody's watching my videos or not. So please at least leave a like or a love or leave a comment so I know that, so I can feel that connection with you, because otherwise I just am like talking to the wall. Um, so today's day 8, and today's topic, we are looking at Samkalpa. And so Samkalpa is the Sanskrit word, which I talked about a couple days ago, and it means something like taking a firm determination or setting a strong intention of something that you want to do, something that you want to shift in your life. And I'm sure everyone has taken a determination at one time in their lives. And so we do this consciously, or you do it regularly, and it can really help to catalyze the transformations that you need to make in your life. So my 3 bullet points for today, we've been breaking down Samkalpa. So the first, a couple days ago, I talked about Samkalpa in terms of self-compassion, self-kindness. There's some great research. A woman named Kristine has looked in, and she compared this idea of self-esteem versus self-compassion, self-kindness. And again showed that people who are trying to build self-compassion rather than self-esteem end up feeling greater happiness and meaning and purpose in their lives. So, it's very interesting. When I was a kid, it was all about self-esteem. And now things are shifting to this idea of self-compassion because, the reality is not everybody is great at everything, right? So if you don't have that natural tendency to something that you think is valuable, that can really lead you to a lack of a sense of negative self-talk and a sense of a poor self-image. So shifting that actually requires compassion, not just esteem building, right? And even maybe not esteem building, because the problem with self-esteem is you build it up and it can easily go away, right? So okay, and so I talked about that 2 days ago, and then yesterday I talked about positive habit building, and today I want to talk about when you need to get rid of habits. I'm going to ask you to hang on just 1 second. I got to close the door because it's noisy. Okay, I'm back. So how do you get rid of that stuff in your life that is not serving you and that may be causing you some problems, right? I think this is one of the biggest challenges that we face in the modern world as human beings. And I think about all the people I know with addiction problems. Myself, I struggled with addiction when I was younger, before I found yoga. It was really yoga that helped me to move through the struggles I was having with eating disorders, and keeps me focused when I hear some of that. I mean, it's been more than 25 years, but still sometimes I get the negative self-talk, and I get that negative, or I get that downward spiral of thinking patterns that I remember, that led me to eating disorders. And so how do I catch that? That is, I think it's a huge problem for most of us as human beings, and being mindful that we're going in that direction is the first step. But because of the mechanisms of addiction, which really operate in these deep parts of the brain, there's a path of dopamine that passes between these 2 parts of your of the limbic brain, or lower parts of the brain, called the nucleus accumbens and the VTA. And that path of dopamine gets hijacked by the dysfunctional or addictive behavior, whatever it is. And what it tells your system is that without that behavior, without that substance, that you're going to die. I mean, it's that serious. It's like, I'm going to die if I don't engage in this behavior. That's how, because it's the survival mechanism in our brains. And so that's why you see, when people are really in the depths of addiction, you see they don't eat, they don't sleep, they're just totally focused on getting that substance or engaging in that gambling behavior or whatever, food behavior. So all of us have some, I think in our culture, all of us have some continuum aspect of that behavior that we have to be really mindful of. And the first step is I notice that this is happening. I notice I'm on Facebook too much if you have more of an addiction like that. And now because I'm aware of it, now I can start to make changes. But the changes are not just cognitive, they don't just come through the mind. They have to also take into account the somatic unconscious experience we have. Yesterday I was talking about how 80 to 95%, some scientists say, of our behaviors and thoughts and feelings are habitual, right? So that it requires going into the unconscious part of ourselves and not just applying front brain discipline, but how does the body have the experience of not needing that behavior, right? And to give the body that experience, it requires a tremendous amount of kindness and relaxation and sweetness, the way you would treat a baby or a small child. That's the way you treat your body. When you treat your body like that, it responds by not having this panicky, fearful, grasping, holding behavior. So the first bullet point today is coming to that place of bad habits and understanding that self-acceptance and understanding that our bad habits are often coping mechanisms and survival strategies. And so applying the yoga concept of vairagya, which means non-attachment, is really useful here. Non-attachment and kindness to the body. And then this idea of baby step your good habits. So it's not like, oh my God, I have to do 2 hours of yoga every day and 2 hours of meditation. No, it's how do I add 5 minutes of, yesterday I was like, I didn't have any time. I'm trying to catch up with my work because as I may have told you, I've been sick. I'm so suggestible, I call. But so yesterday I did I had to do an interview and I went and I did 3 asanas beforehand because I knew it would help my mind to be clearer and it would help me feel better. And, I just hadn't had the time. So baby step your good habits, make sure you do them, but baby step them. And then the last bullet point today is compassionate self-discipline is the road to freedom. And I gave you a link there because I am talking about the chakras for a group called the Yoga Therapy Group. And I put a link to that group there. You can join the group. So I've been doing 10-minute videos and I didn't have enough time to do it in this one. And I did record a 10-minute video about the heart chakra and understanding that the heart chakra is about this. As much as it's about sense of self and love, it's also about creating boundaries and creating discipline in your life. And it's freedom that comes from that sense of focus and scheduling and all of those things that are so helpful for us. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. What I'd like to request that you leave here in a comment is one positive habit that you're working on building. What is the positive habit that you're working on building? How's it going? And leaving us any kind of tips would be really useful. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Namaste.